Hey everybody, I'm Renny Doyle with Detailing Success, and I've got a stinky proposition for you today. This will work on both your extractor or your vacuum cleaner, so it doesn't matter what you're going to use it on, but I'm going to give you an easy way to take and allow your vacuum cleaner and your extractor not to stink anymore. We should be deodorizing your vacuum every 2 to 4 weeks, depending on how busy your shop is and the type of vehicles that you're working on. The best thing is the deodorizer that we're going to use is all natural, and it's not going to leave a funky smell behind. Matter of fact, if it leaves any odor behind, it's going to actually work on deodorizing the vehicles you work on, so therefore it's going to help out your detailing. So first thing you want to do is get a few tools right at your hand. Naturally you want your vacuum cleaner. If it's a wet dry vacuum cleaner, this works. If you don't have a wet dry vacuum cleaner, you can't do this. You can't put water into a vacuum cleaner that was not made to suck up liquids. If you've got a lower end kind of a bargain basement brand from one of the Home Depot or Lowe's, you might want to check because you might have to pull your filter out before you do this. This was a upper end vacuum. We can leave the filter right in, but I'm still going to pull the filter out. I'm actually going to clean it and go through all that process before I do this. So what I'm going to do is I've got all my attachments even because I want to clean them up and deodorize them. I've got my hose on my vacuum cleaner. I've got my vacuum cleaner here. We're going to crack it open. We're going to empty it out naturally. We're going to pull the filter out, and we're going to use air to blow the filter out. Now, a lot of you might use compressed air, and that's fine. Just tune it down, take it down to 50 psi or lower. Also, if you have a diffuser that spreads the air out, that's a lot better. In this case, I'm going to use the little sidekick blaster. If you've got a master blaster, that's way cool also, but the sidekick will work fine just to blow all the filter out, all the tight areas, the canister out, and everything else. Then, what I'm going to do is, I've got 2 products here. Now, these are just household products. You can go down to the store. I bought these at Safeway this morning. This is distilled white vinegar, and it was about $4. And then we've got hydrogen peroxide, and that was about $2. We're going to take and fill up the buckets. We're going to dump each one of these, the vinegar into this bucket, the hydrogen peroxide into this, and then we're going to take and suck it through the whole system. But first, I'm going to go out and clean this bad boy up and get it prepped. So you can see that the vacuum is all nice and clean now. Now, some people actually go through and really detail it out and get every granule out. We're too busy in our shop. We made it nice and clean. It's got a little bit, I mean, maybe a tablespoon of grime if you go in there with a screwdriver and wedge it all out. But we pressure washed it out. We rinsed it out really good. We cleaned all of our different elements. We cleaned all the filters. And then also, when you saw me cleaning the filter, A, I had eye protection on. B, I had dust protection. Now, a lot of people think I just don't want to breathe dust in. This is coming, it's all materials out of your car, out of a person's car. And you know, you don't know their habits, and it's been proven that the average vehicle interior is dirtier than the average public restroom. So do you really want to be breathing all that? Nope, and I also gloved up. So safety first. The other thing to kind of remind you again, that this is a wet-dry vacuum designed for wet-dry environments. If you don't have a wet dry vacuum, or if it's only a dry vacuum, you cannot do it to that unit. So don't plug it in and suck a bunch of water down. So second from there, some of you might have, this is a nice big unit, 15 gallons, so it'll hold plenty of liquid, but I went ahead and I left the filter out. I don't want to take and cleanse it with the filter in. So if you've got a smaller unit, you're not going to be able to take and put this much fluid or liquid into it. You might have to split it up. In this instance, I put just over 4 gallons of water. I put a gallon of the vinegar, and then I dropped in a full container of hydrogen peroxide. Now, what I would suggest is what these do is the vinegar is a natural deodorant. What it's going to do is not only going to clean it a little bit, but it's going to cleanse it and it's going to take the odor out. We do this every month, and right now Diane's going to be behind the camera wagging her head. Yeah, but we don't have stinky vacuums anymore because about every 2 to 4 weeks we do this to it. So the vinegar is for cleansing and for taking odor out. It's a natural deodorizer. Now the good thing is you're going to have a little bit of a vinegar smell afterwards. If you see that you're leaving that a little bit in a car, within 24 to 48 hours, it's just going to deodorize. It's a nice scent. A lot of people, some people can't stand it. It's not going to be strong. It might be very faint, but that will dissipate. The peroxide, if you live in an environment that's got mold, that's what we put this in there for, is the anti-molding agent. So in this case, I've got a nice big capacity vacuum, so I just filled both in to the 5 gallons on a second. You can see it's right to the surface. It's right here to the top. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and put our vacuum back together and then start cleansing it down. You'll see what I'll do is I'm going to take my attachments and switch my attachments out. So I'm going to actually run it all through my hose, and I'll start it out with a claw, and then about halfway through I'll switch over to my crevice. If I've got other tools I'm using, I'll switch them out. If you got 4 tools, just divide it into 4 and suck it through there so it cleanses all these tools out. So I'll go ahead and start putting this back together, and then we'll start sucking it down there and getting it clean. So again, reminder, I've got a large capacity vacuum here, so you might have to take and shrink down and not put as much liquid through there, just divide it up a little bit. Also, I've got the filter out. I don't want to get that filter wet. My filter, the vacuum's got a bypass, and it'll actually take and suck up water and send it right to the side of the vacuum. But since I'm putting such a large capacity of water in there, just in case I don't want to get that filter wet and then have to replace it. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and start this up. And I'm just going to suck some through this one tube because I use it all the time. You want to leave a little bit of air. You don't want to immerse it completely down in there, but you can see it sucking it up pretty quick. So now what I'll do, I'll stop there. You see the hose sucking it up. I'm going to go ahead and put my attachment on. What this is doing is going through the hose, and it's actually taking and cleansing that hose out. We'll come in and show you the water, so I'm about right there. I want to go ahead and stop that. Go ahead and put my other attachment on. You see this doesn't suck the water down quite as fast as the Crevice Tool. Now I'm doing this in my wash bucket. The reason why I'm doing this in my wash bucket is that your wash bucket, mine don't get too dirty. I'm pretty good about keeping it clean because you don't want a dirty wash bucket. But every once in a while, to go ahead and deodorize your wash bucket's not a bad thing. So I'm just doing it right out of my wash bucket just to get any gunk out of this air. So I'm going to go ahead and suck down the rest of this through this tube. And there it is. I'll go ahead and pull my grit guard. I put my grit guard right in there and just put the rest, pull it out. Now my bucket, even though my bucket was nice and clean before I started, it did dislodge some stuff from the vinegar going in there. And again, it's a good cleaner. Okay, so let's go ahead and, that was an emergency shut off in case it gets a little liquid in there. It shuts it off automatically. So what I'm going to do is open this up and we'll show you the dirt that came through the hose and so forth. Okay, so we can see now this tub was completely clean, but what came through the hose, look at that, look how nasty that is. So, and again, our vacuum was just cleaned about, 4 weeks ago, and that's still coming through. And we haven't done a ton of nasty cars. That's just the dirt from average daily drivers that come out. So you want to take and make sure now what I'm going to do is dump this out. I'm going to run some fresh water back through it to finish it out. Check it one more time, make sure it's nice and clean, and then we'll come back and show you how it looks after we're done. Okay. So now I've got this bucket filled about halfway up with just fresh water, and what we're going to do is we want to rinse some of that vinegar smell out so it's not quite as strong. I can smell a little bit, it's pretty faint, again, because we diluted it down with water. And again, I'm going to qualify, please make sure that you've got a wet dry vacuum before you do this. So make sure to go turn back to the owner's manual. So what we're going to do is put our attachment number 1 back on, turn it on high, and just slowly start sucking up some of the water. And again, all this is doing is flushing out any dirt remnants. And I'm going to do it just with my tip. Okay, so what you hear on that is that's self-cleaning vacuum. It thinks that the filter's still in there and it's trying to clean it up. So again, I'm Renny Doyle with Detailing Success, and I hope that your vacuum is putting out a better aroma after watching this video. Take care, everybody. Happy detailing.